Guys, Ben Travovic here from the Manly Seagulls.
Here comes through Luai.
The SuperCoach Experience podcast is one of the best podcasts going around, boys. Keep doing what you're doing, and yeah, I just want to say, what a podcast. Go the Mighty Eagles.
Hey lads, Ewan Aiken here from the New Zealand Warriors. Hope you have a big year with the SuperCoach Experience podcast.
Got the ball to Sims. It's down to It's done it again.
What is up, you weak-gutted dogs? You are here listening to the SuperCoach Experience podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Savage, the coach of the up-and-coming Savage Turbos. I'm joined here by a panel of other weak-gutted dogs. A weak-gutted dog here who's actually doing quite well as well. How are you, Jakey?
Yeah, good. After a massive round, I had 1646, so I'm happy to be a weak-gutted dog, and all the other coaches, I guess, give it to me. I guess there's the overall game, which you've killed it this year in, and then there's kind of the head-to-head, which I guess saving a few trades at the end and I guess running in hot has kind of helped me make some finals. So as for everyone, this is the last week of head-to-heads. The finals are this week. It used to be, all the way up to round 25, but they brought it forward after the catastrophe last year where, finals were 12 versus 14. So I'm glad they've made that decision.
Would you prefer to be in my position where you kind of lingered around the top 100 all year and like maybe finish 150th, or do what you did and maybe finish like 200th and like come home hot?
Yeah, well, you'd like to come home hot, I guess, because it means you're probably going to go well in head-to-heads and then I guess raise ranks right at the end. You're not holding on for dear life like I guess you and Timmy have been for the last couple of weeks. So, you like anyone, you'd much rather be going well at the end.
For sure. I guess talking about Timmy, he had a pretty bad week. 1,200, gone down 462. So you're up to 276, is it?
Rank wise, no, not that high. I think I'm. Hold up, I am 318. I am, which I've gone past. So I'm now the second best on the SuperCoach Experience. It took a long time, but I'm finally there.
Coming in hot, I think I looked at it, and you're only 250 points behind me. So you definitely can make it. You could make it up, but hopefully not. On the panel as well, we've got someone who absolutely started on fire, but it just didn't go his way. Alex Johnston, Cody Walker, Captain Latrell. Mate, Mikey, what happened?
The Captain Latrell, that was the last round. I know it's been quite a while since I've been on the podcast. It's been gnarly to kind of work it all around, but yeah, 14:45. I started really strong, but then just a few really low scores in there really bited me. But I'm happy, man. You asked Jake that question, and my answer would be the same as him. If I'm not going to finish top 10, then I don't really care about finishing 55th or whatever that is. I'd rather win a cash comp, even if that means I finish all the way back in 5,000s, because I'd rather make money than not make money. That's just me. But 14:45. A lot of good things happen, a lot of bad things happen. But man, I won 4 out of 5 cash comps, so I head to the final and. all you plan to do when you enter these cash comps is to make the finals, because then you obviously make money because you're going to get runner up at least. So I start off the start of the week with a profit, and if I can win all of these, I can make some coins. So look, I've got no injuries. I'm surprised there's no like restings and stuff like that. We're going to full strength. I've got a bit of depth. I've actually got quite a bit of headaches of who to play in that, and I'm sure the three of us will dissect who to bench and who to play, because I feel like a lot of people are out of trade. So more of the questions will be centered around who do we think is the best person to put on the field, and I'm still struggling with that myself. But yeah, I'm sitting at 1,800. I can't crack the 1,000. One week I get close and then I'm back. But I guess my goal is just to win some cash comps and maybe finishing the 2,000 would be lovely. So see how I go with that.
I think it's absolutely crazy because when you enter all these cash comps, you kind of it's such a long way away that you kind of just wait till the end for it to happen, and like you concentrate so much on overall and your overall position. But like I'm in the position where I've made no cash comps, and I'm just thinking, gee, should I just hold on the trades and focused on this cash comp? Because I don't give a shit if I finish 70th at best, or I could finish 50th. It means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. I prefer to be in your guys' position where you're in the position to win some coin. But I guess I can't complain. I've done pretty well this season. So, so today, I mean, head-to-head finals, a lot of people have probably given up. A lot of people have probably not given up and still trying to crack the top 1,000 or the next goal. So we'll try and get through some pod plays maybe if you have trades left, and just have a look at start and sits and things like that. I know myself, I have a couple of rogue buys this week for people who have trades, and I'll tell you, they are rogue. They're very rogue. So we'll get to them very shortly. Jake, you have the hot hand. What was your feeling on the weekend? And I did say last week in the podcast that I think the weekend will be the good sides will beat the bad sides. This will be their performance where they absolutely try and put their best performance out. Do you think it's going to be the same this weekend?
No, I don't think so. A lot of the good sides are playing each other. Apart from Cronulla, who's playing the Dogs, and the Panthers, who are playing the Warriors, we've got Melbourne playing Roosters. So that's not going to be a 72-6 scoreline where all the Roosters ton up. And I guess last week the week before that, it was quite a low-scoring week, and then the week just gone, it was huge, the score, I guess, with so many blowouts. But I think it'll come back more. We've kind of got a lot of the top 8 versing each other and the bottom 8 sort of versing each other. So I think we can expect more of a equal sort of scoring across the board. I don't expect any massive scores.
Mikey, do you kind of sit on the same fence where there's certain games that you're targeting?
Yeah, I kind of like the tighter matchups. It's going to make it a bit harder to choose a captain, where last week I feel like it was a little bit easier, and most of the popular captaincy options were all good options last round. So,
were they?
Yeah, I think it will. I think it will be similar. What did you say? Sorry.
Were they?
Except for Sav's captain, that is.
Yeah. Well, but Manu wasn't popular, but Hines 130, Tedesco 110 ended up not being that much worse. Munster wouldn't have been too bad if you captain him. So, look, I think it will be similar this week. Apart from the Sharks have a bit of an easy matchup. So, for head-to-head, you want to try and be a little bit different, and it's tough. But deciding whether or not you want to go with the pack or go against the pack, it's tough. But yeah, look, a lot of these teams have everything to play for. That whole top 8 has so many moving parts, trying to finish to get a home final, even for the Broncos, and that just to make a final. So, a lot of these games will be interesting, and it looks to be an interesting round of footy. Some surprise selections in team lists too. But I just saw a question up there before asking if we're going to go through the start and sits today. Yeah, we definitely will. So, yeah, there we go, by James L. Yeah, definitely. I think that'll be an important part, because I'm assuming a big chunk of us don't have any trades. We haven't been sitting on trades for 3-4 weeks, and I think we've navigated through the carnage pretty well. I've basically done this whole final series of no trades, so I've touched wood that luck continues.
Yeah, me too. I feel like there was carnage for a few weeks, and there's someone out every week, but because there was so much carnage, these people have to come back eventually. So like Talakai's back, so that adds an extra number. Players like Tass, Jake have absolutely killed it for us when we needed them to step up, and these start versus sits are going to be a bit of a headache this week, and maybe not so much next week. Hopefully there is restings, because I said it last week, but I wish the round 25 was still the head-to-head finals, because I love that aspect of it. I just love you got to plan for this shit.
I love it. Yeah, I love the way it's switched, but because you can't plan for stuff if it's like, say the top 8 was consolidated, then everybody would be like sitting plays, and it gets real yuck. Even if you had 2 trades, sometimes that's not enough. So I think it brings fairness, and either way, it's hard to make the final either way. So I think it's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Yeah, it is very good. So Jake, is there anyone that is in your side at the moment that you were looking at sitting and starting? I guess we'll start off with that, the sit versus starts. Who are you looking at?
Popular options
So I think a lot of the sit versus starts probably comes around the centre wing. Everyone's probably got 6-ish centre wings that they can probably play. I guess all the Penrith players we can safely say that they're probably starts. I think
Taylor May,
Tango, all plays. Mikey, you're a bit hesitant in that.
Yeah, I think it's side dependent. So, like, if you're like, you're really liking how the Bunnies are playing, you've got Tars, for example. The Sharks have a really juicy matchup too. So, like, a lot of teams might be in a position where they either got to play one of May or Talakai. So then I can see the up and downs for both plays. Like, although the Panthers, like, they're playing well in the versus the Warriors, like, I'm shocked he didn't rest any players this week. So, yeah, look, I think Taylor May's a start. Same with Tago, but I think, when it comes to a May versus Talakai, I think that's where the headache starts. It gets a bit tougher because they're both. I can't make a decision because May hasn't been doing too well. He hasn't found the try line for quite a bit. He seems to find the try line at home. There's so many pros and cons for both plays, but yeah, at this stage, I'm going to start May, but Talakai's tempting.
So you're saying you're not playing Talakai?
Yeah, at this stage, I can't fit him in. I've got to play May or Talakai in my boat. I'm not even playing Coruscant. It's tough. What were you going to say, Savs?
Yeah, that's kind of the boat I'm in at the moment. I think I'm sitting Talakai at this stage. May is a start, but it's not so much of a no-brainer as you think. I think the Warriors' right edge defense is actually their better edge. The left, so they might target.
Dallin plays that side.
Yeah, exactly. Edward Kosey is on the other side. So I think they will target that side. However, with Luai being back, I really like the fact that left edge is going to get lots of early ball. So
I think that's the main reason of playing Kick-Out May for me this week is purely because Luai's back as well, and he loves that cutout ball, and it usually benefits one of Tago or May. So, yeah, I think that's the big inclusion here that's making me want to play both of them. And I guess it's just trying to, if a lot of these players get rested, you don't want to have too many of one side too. So it's finding the right balance.
We have a question here from 2 first names. Tom Jack, how can Talakai be tempting at this point? I think he honestly has a point. Talakai has not been good, SuperCoach-wise. I think NRL-wise he's been solid, but he hasn't had, since that Manly game, you really could have gone without him. And coming back from injury, probably not match fit. The Bulldogs, they're not the worst team. I do see the Sharks putting points on them, but I don't know, especially the fact that Mulatalo has just got no ball over the last few weeks. I think Moylan and Wade Graham. As a Shark supporter, Jake, what are your thoughts on that one?
As in, everyone seems to think that they're ball hogs. I think it's pretty ridiculous. I mean, we are winning games and we are putting a ton of points on. So I don't care where the points come from. As long as your team's winning and winning comfortably, I mean, it's a good enough job. And I know people will get a bit angry because Mulatalo hasn't scored in a long time. Talakai hasn't done anything since Manly. But other teams, you got to go. Other teams go, all right, they've always gone left. Talakai's been dominant. Mulatalo's been dominant. Other teams adjust to that. And that's why we saw on the weekend Cronulla was so dominant on their right side, which with Ikuvalu scoring 2 and Nico Hines getting the double. So I mean, I think I'm going to play Talakai this week. I think he's due. It wasn't so much an injury. He was kind of just rested to kind of get himself right. He was carrying a bit of a niggling injury. So I think he'll be 100% healthy now. And yeah, the Dogs, they haven't been that good. They'll be running at, who would it be? It won't be Shilp, it'll be the other side. Braden Burns and
Karaz
and
Correct.
And that side is being pretty bad in defense as well. Who do we go? So Wonga Blake scored a double there last week. And Penasini scored as well.
Sevo scored one.
No.
Other side.
Yeah, but Wonga Blake scored a double.
But I mean, both sides, because, yeah, the Fox kind of shoots in and takes no one. But yeah, I guess back to the Sharks. I think that there's a comment in here. Sharks will be the first team to bow out of the finals. They'd have to not finish in the top 4 for that to happen.
Maybe he means back-to-back sets, which it's. Yeah, I guess. I think if anyone loses in the top 4, I think you've got a tough game because you're probably going to have to play Roosters or Rabbitohs. So, as a top 4, I feel like if you don't win that first game, that second game is going to be so tough.
I guess if the golden would be if Cronulla finished second, we play a home game against North Queensland, because if we versus Penrith, we're 100% going to lose. I think if we versus North Queensland, that's probably the gold mine. Not in North Queensland would be a good thing, and then hopefully see Penrith in the grand final.
But they went up to North Queensland. They went up to North Queensland a few weeks back and won. So I think
that's was after Origin. They had a lot of players out. Yeah.
I'm pretty confident.
Praying Mantis did say back-to-back losses. Hopefully not Praying Mantis, but
just quickly on the Talakai thing before we move on, just to that guy's point. He hasn't been amazing, but still have a look at his floor. And I guess that's what you got to consider when it's like a him versus someone else, like 59, 41, 54, 39. And then before that, 79, 65. So his base is pretty good whenever he doesn't do something. And I've been really sick of Mulatalo scores, but last week his work rate was very high. And it's when he seems to have Connor Tracy. I feel like he holds the ball a bit more. Talakai and him are a good duo, and I feel like Mulatalo has a higher chance of scoring tries when Talakai's with him. But usually one of them goes off, the other one has a big score too. So it's a real big headache with the centre wing this week, and I think they're going to be the biggest talking points for start and sit. But at this stage, I've just got May slightly ahead, just because if Penrith are on a night out, I think a double will be a lot simpler for him than maybe Talakai.
I'll throw in another centre. Is someone like a Val Holmes a sit this week in, over, say, Talakai or someone? I mean, they have a tough matchup against the Rabbitohs.
It is in Sydney. I feel like Rabbitohs are going to get a convincing win. Yeah.
In Sydney.
Yeah, it's hard to do with. I know Sabs will probably disagree with that, but it's so hard when you know what Holmes can do. But this does smell like a week where he's going to score 30 to 40, and he's done it when he gets no attacking stats. Sabs?
I don't think so. I think he's running at Campbell Graham and Jackson Paulo. Jackson Paulo was named again, right?
No, he got dropped.
Tane Milne?
No, Isaac Thompson. Which, and Graham's a good defender. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think Isaiah Tass last week was a really good defender, so I think they will target that other side. I don't know. The Rabbitohs' defense, they're not known for their defense, so I don't know. I don't think he's that much of a clear-cut not play, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But if you do have a lot of options that have big upside, I see the merit in that. Isaiah Tass, he's another one who is a potential play or start playing the Cowboys. He is running. Who's he running at?
Peter Hiku.
Oh, he's a sit, obviously. Maybe.
I reckon you could still play him. One thing
I don't think it matters. It's South's left edge. They go there no matter who they're versing.
And no matter who they're versing, they're scoring points. Look at Johnson. I just think, the hardest headache I have, the Bunnies have been really helping me with my head-to-heads, and it's I don't want to play all 4 of them, but even when, they lost last week, and still the main guys are still scoring points. So, even this week against the Cowboys, I'm kind of learning that, don't really get scared by their matchup. The Bunnies have points in them no matter who they verse. So, I think you could play Task, but all we've been talking about is centre wings. It's just too hard to play him in front of Mulatalo, Talakai, May. But his base is pretty good, and he's getting at least one try assist for Alex Johnston per game. And their line breaks they're tallying up are ridiculous. They got 5 or 6 line breaks in the first 20 minutes, and most of them were made by either him or Johnston. It was crazy.
Yeah. It was crazy. I was loving life as playing Task, and I was stressing over the decision of I play May or Task, and I played Task, and for sure it paid off. We've got another one here that I reckon is a smoky. Jojo Fafita versus Newcastle Knights.
You'll laugh at Jojo Fafita, bro. There's no way I could do it over any of those guys you just mentioned, and I assume most of us have depth at this point. I think that's absolutely crazy. Although, yeah, it could work, but it's just tough when you've got a more proven player.
I guess the thing with Jojo Fafita is he's not very highly owned, and he plays the last game. They versus Canberra in the last game. So not Canberra, they versus Newcastle last game. So, I mean, if you're in a head-to-head final, you can just say you're a bit behind and you've got a Talakai versus a Talakai. You can switch him up to a Jojo Fafita to potentially win that. So, I think I wouldn't be exactly starting him, but I'll be having there as a bit of a plan B in the case of you needing to catch up.
I think that's a great option. I guess while we're speaking on center wings, I want to throw up one smoky if you have trades left. And
do we maybe have is he a Sharks player?
No.
Okay.
You're thinking of Ikavalu, aren't you, Jake?
I'm thinking of Ikavalu, yes.
No. This player is playing a team that the last time he played them, he scored 5 tries and scored 169. Do you know which player I'm talking about? So my ultimate pod play for the weekend, if you have trades left, last game, you need an absolute miracle to win it for you. Edric Lee is your man, 169 against the Titans. That right edge of Greg Marju hasn't held up well this season, and that is the most leaky edge in the NRL. Edric Lee, he's been in good form too. Like he hasn't dropped off the form since he had.
If you're going to take one, you go Ikavalu for sure. Like I reckon that's way better of a pod play because he's going to be the same ownership for sure, and they're in a better side because the Knights and Titans both suck, and we saw the Knights nearly upset Canberra on the weekend. So this could be like a 16-16 and a poopy game probably.
So he's 612K. He plays Gold Coast. He plays the Sharks next week. But since that 172, he scored 79, 40, 89, and 64. So
that's actually pretty good. It's crazy.
The stats add up, and he just scores tries all the time. 172 against the Titans. Do you see a world where it's maybe an option?
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
I mean, yeah, it's a very out there pick, but I prefer to go for a team like Cronulla, or even bring in another Panther outside back if you don't say have or even a Critter who would be goal kicking. He could get 60 points in goal kicks, like we saw from half the comp last week.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that.
I don't know if I can go for a team that's at the bottom of the table.
Take a risk up the top. You could even go Storm if you really wanted to.
What if you had 2 trades? You're getting in a Stephen Crichton and an Edric Lee?
Nah. Look, I know. I wish you had a trade left, Savs, because I'd love to see you do it. But hey,
I just want to see Big Eddie in the team.
That could be a late trade you could use late in the round if you really needed to call on someone to save you. Like I wouldn't be calling Edric Lee, but it looks like Savs would.
That
could work.
Another trade.
Love your pod play of Sam Walker.
It wasn't really much of a pod play.
I think it was.
I was and and I was going to go AJ Brimson, but I was against my brother, and he brought AJ Brimson in. I kind of at that point, it was just before the Shark game. I needed to bring someone in, and I went Walker. I put all my eggs in this, last week's basket. Did pay off. He scored 110 or something, and half of that was in goal kicks. So you take that. But I mean, in the run home, I don't really intend on playing Sam Walker, where if I got in an AJ Brimson, I'd be playing him this week and probably next week as well. So I guess I was more caught up in making finals, guaranteeing, a cash payout in some way than thinking long term, which either way it would have worked out fine. But
it's really funny. I looked at your team the other week and it's just full of pods. Like you had Tessie New at the time, you had some other weird bloke. I forget who it was.
There's a couple of weird ones.
Yeah, and then you've got Sam Walker in, who's probably less of a pod than most of these guys. And then looking at getting AJ Brimson in, like it's crazy how you've got to the ranking you have with all these pods. It just proves that there's not only one way to get to the top.
Yeah, and I think in our last show, we'll kind of go through. I know Timmy wants to do it sort of where we went wrong and what we did right through the season, and we'll pick our best plays at both points. But yeah, I'm looking forward to going through that. I know Timmy is as well.
A lot of people are light in certain areas, mainly the front row, I guess. Is there any cheapy front rowers like Pole or Fafita that you guys would consider playing if needed?
Definitely not a front row. I'll be playing. No, I mean,
play it safe and just use the guys that have been doing a job. Like if I had a pod there or I have Max King, I'd be calling on Max King if I had an injury to Haas or Papali. But I wouldn't be looking to make up there. I think the pods could be making up anywhere in the backs and halves really, and then the rest of it you just go with what works.
For sure. Jake, if you've gotten into your finals with trades left, who is your absolute balls to the wall pod play that you're considering?
Jeez, well, I think it'd be probably a Kavalu if I had one or two trades left at centre wing. If I, had one trade, I'd probably go on Ezra Mann to AJ Brimson if I could do it at 5'8" as well. But I mean, I kind of, as soon as I used my last trade, I kind of just threw my trade thoughts out the window. I was like, don't have to worry about this. I just have to worry about what 17 I'm throwing out in the park.
For sure.
Well, we know who you'd go, Savs, Edric Lee, but what about Mikey if he had one or two trades?
It's interesting because I think I could go somewhere. The Dragons have some decent matchups. Like Jack Bird's been really killing it. Like he's been doing really well playing in the lock position. So 131 on the weekend, and he had a big score the weekend before. So I'd potentially
this week.
Yeah, which might, but yeah, they're playing okay. But also, yeah, I like your thoughts around the Titans of Brimson. I would look at that, or bringing in a pod near around that. Like Firm has been absolutely killing it too. Like he's the preferred second row edge, and I know I had him earlier in the year, but you basically, I'm winning a head-to-head final, so I'll be looking at getting the best possible player for that round, and yeah. I'd be similar to you, Ikavalu. I'd be targeting a top team playing someone shit. And this week, I think Penrith and Sharks have the two best possible matchups. I really wouldn't be touching anyone else other than that. But even Big Tino. If you needed you said you wanted a pod front row, Sabs. Big Tino's been absolutely killing it and flying under the radar. So I think the Titans have a friendly matchup too. So I'd be looking at those ones.
I really like Tino with with Aaron Clark out for the season. That assures him minutes at lock. So yeah, I really like Tino. But as a pod route, I probably want to go. Oh Jesus, Mikey! I probably want to go in the front row.
Sorry about the mic. But yeah. I feel like he'd be a good. Yeah, I know. I've been pretty good. I feel like that's a good combo in the front row. If you could somehow get Tino up there, and then maybe not play a Haas, or it's interesting because we haven't really spoke about the Broncos. Like I don't know what Kevin Walter's thinking. He's resting Cobbo. I'm resting this. I'm resting that. So it's a must-win game. So yeah,
there must be more to it. Apparently, might be mental health related. I don't know, but I don't see why he would come out and say it's fatigue, because I feel like that's an invitation for more criticism, right? Like fatigue.
Yeah, and Payne Haas, if they start getting pumped, I think Eels will be out for blood. Like, Kevy said it in the post-interview saying, we'll get him flogged. So I took Payne Haas off and rested him, and that worries me. So if I had someone like Big Tino, I could potentially probably play him over Haas this week. Although Haas had a field day against Parramatta last time, but I don't know. I don't think they're going to win this time.
All right, let's answer a couple of questions. Lachlan Ogue, would you play Lolo, Brandon Smith, or Adam Elliott? Jake, interesting three. Tamalolo with Cotterback has been quite underwhelming, but with the two hard matchups, there's more work to be done. So it's a very tough one. I would personally nearly go Adam Elliott, but he's also kind of been a bit down as well.
Yeah,
Brandon Smith starting lock.
Poor. Recently.
He's been starting every week.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Lolo's back down to 50 minutes. To the Cowboys, I mean, they've got a tough matchup. They got to consolidate, potentially a home final. Do they play in bigger minutes, or they keep monitoring through this 50-minute mark, or is that the Lolo that is going to stay? I'm not sure. I have no plans on playing Lolo as my front row, but I guess he's choosing maybe a reserve in this. So I don't know. Maybe Brandon Smith. He's looked pretty good the last couple of weeks, but they don't have
I'd play Adam Elliott.
Playing his new club, Brandon Smith.
Yeah, I guess. I think I like Adam Elliott out of all those just purely because Manly have sucked. They've been really bad. And, the Raiders weren't that great on the weekend. Yeah, they pulled a rabbit out the hat, but I think, Ricky's going to be all over them this week, and they're going to need a pretty convincing win to, if they can win by, 16 plus, then, and Broncos get a loss, the top 8's not too far away for them. So I think they'll want to try and put as many points on Manly as they can. So maybe that's why I'd have Adam Elliott a touch ahead, but I like the B. Smith against his new club call. That could work.
You were just speaking about the Raiders, maybe a potential sit versus start. Daly Cherry Evans, is he a potential sit?
I can't do it with his what he's kind of capable. Like, look at him last week. Like he literally scored a try at the end and ended up getting a really good score. And if I'm wrong and Manly do show up and Manly do have a good game, I think they've got one more good game in them. Say they do, I know Cherry Evans will be in all of it. So it's just too. Raiders can be very poor in defense at times, and that's what makes me not want to sit out or Kalatu or Cherry Evans. I've just got to play both of them purely just because of their capabilities. Like, they got smashed last week, and both of those guys still turned up with a good score. So in case it's a close one and Raiders really have to fight for it, yeah. If you got lots of depth, you could sit him out there. But what about you, Sabs? Could you sit out Cherry Evans? I don't think I could.
No, I couldn't do that. With a spine player playing a side like Canberra. Like, Canberra have been good.
In Canberra, but yeah.
They've got tendencies. Their record against Manly is no good. But as we saw from the Sharks versus Manly game on the weekend, the records mean nothing because Sharks hadn't won in 3,000 days or something?
Yes, it was a very long time at Brookie home game.
And yes, Nico Hines went ballistic. Not very good. I kept him money. What else have we got? Oh my God. The biggest news of the weekend, Nico Hines downdated. He downdated for
which
once.
was massive. Because of that, I won a cashy. If he updated, I was screwed. I was just like, come on. I thought he was going to go up 20 points because I always like to find an extra try assist for him. Be like, oh yeah, that's a good try. We'll give him an extra 10. So I'm glad they didn't do that this week.
Absolutely crazy. I thought Manu would have updated a bit.
Yeah, Teddy found 20 points out of nowhere. So I don't know how, but I'm not complaining as someone that captained him because we had a big debate about it before. But just a quick shout out to you, Sabs. You kind of leveled me a bit with the call, and the call that you gave me advice on to make, I went with, and that won me a couple of my cash comps because if I nearly looped Tynes, and if I looped Tynes and didn't play for feeder, I would have been worse off. Not by too much, but I definitely would have been worse off. So yeah.
Who was your AE?
It was Pole. So
and what he scored 30,
and then Fafita got 89. I ended up getting 2 10ers or 220 as a captain, where I would have got 260 and a 30. So it was kind of similar, but yeah, I think still shout out to you for that.
No, that was pretty good. I remember this time last year. I actually told you about it on the weekend that I had a free loop, and you thought you might have had a free loop at one stage as well. I had Eve Tedesco was out. I had a free loop, and it was Cody Walker's 150 last year, and I had a free loop, and I was like, no brainer. Tommy went out and scored 229 on that Monday night against the Sharks.
You were depressed.
Oh my god, it was just not my season last year, and I think you've just kind of like going pod captains is not always the way to go. It's just sometimes you just got to go with the crowd and just choose who you think's going to score more. Like,
yeah,
just
it's tough because head to head throws you a spanner in the works too, because you're like, man, I've got to do something different than this guy, because the captaincy is huge. If you're not going a different captain to him, then it really comes down to your pods, and your pods are usually risky. So yeah, it's an interesting weekend ahead.
There he is. We got James Rhodes, Drinky versus May Targo conundrum, playing 2 out of the 3. Drop Drinky.
Drinkwater's a good one. Yeah, well, we haven't really spoken about Drinkwater, but yet again, it's like you don't want to drop DCE because of the halves. At the same time, as you said earlier, the bunnies can leak a bit of points here and there. I think I'd be too scared. I'd be too scared not to throw Drinkwater in there. Same said for Cody Walker. I know Cody Walker's flaw is so bad, but I'm putting in this week just because both these teams have been good this season. And yeah, I'd probably just play one of the Panthers boys. Like, I know they could both realistically kill it, but I think if I own those 3 players, I'd choose Drinky and Tago, just because Luai loves throwing cuts out, kick out, throws it to Tago, and then Tago dummies and scores himself. That happens a lot. So, yeah. Does any of you disagree?
I don't really think Drinky's much of a player this week. I think he's at 5'8" now, so he won't be at fullback, which takes his kind of the famous
I didn't realise he was at 5'8".
fullback backline movement, where as soon as the fullback's involved, he gets the try assist. So he kind of cuts that out. He'll have Hammer outside him who just doesn't pass the ball and can't pass. So I think he takes well of his try assist. He won't have as many runs, I guess. Have more tackles, but he's not a very good defender, so he probably misses a majority of those. So against the south side, he'll be playing on the left side, which I guess is not South's, go-to side. But I think a Cody Walker, I even think those Penrith guys are more of a play than Drinky is.
I didn't realise him 5'8". I didn't fully go with teams this week because I've just been going on my app, looking at all the green dots, gone sweet. But that's a fair call. Jake cleared that up for me. Thank you. Critter kicking goals for me, so that's on the last comment.
As a bit of a pod.
Yeah, I like it. He started the season really crash hot and hasn't scored too many tries. He's due, and I like the call that they might shift right. Biz has been a bit quiet. It could be a right side night. So, but then again, with Luai being back, but then that shifts O'Sullivan back over the right side. And at the first couple of weeks, people like Crichton and that started really well because, O'Sullivan was feeding him on the right. I'm not saying, Cleary's there, but, that was working early. So I don't mind the Luai O'Sullivan combo. So, yeah, it could work.
Because I guess the main thing is the previous couple of weeks with Penrith, it's been Sullivan on the left, Salmon on the right. So you've got, I guess you can say Sullivan's a bigger upgrade over Salmon than, say, Luai is over Sullivan. So I guess the right gets a bigger upgrade in terms of their attack. So, yeah, and like we saw early in the season, they did go right quite a bit. So,
and Sullivan loves the bomb, so Crichton will have a chance to score quite a few tries off some bombs. So it'll be interesting to see how they go. And also to go with that, we got Shades of Red. Is Lomax a buy? Would have to play him over DCL or Kalatu, and we just had a bit of a spill on those 2 Manly plays. So I'm pretty sure you know how I feel about it. I wouldn't buy Lomax. We mentioned maybe 3 better centers to buy over him, and then maybe I consider it. But yeah, DCL or Kalatu, I know you rested Old Kalatu last week, Jake, so you might have a different story. But with just what he can do in tackle busting and how likely he is to score a try, it's the same as kick out. I have to play those guys because their upside's too good.
Yeah, and I think Manly kind of against Canberra's got a quite bit more upside than they did against, say, Cronulla last week. Canberra, they only got beat by the Knights. It was only a Knights collapse in the second half. But I don't mind Lomax. He's against the Tigers. He could get 30 points in goals. He's juicing attacking stats. He hasn't scored in forever.
It's a good point. But I think if I'm going and I'm using a trade, I'd probably like to prefer a pod. Like your Kavalu or your Crichton, I think I'd go over him because.
Well, I mean, the fact he's named him probably is kind of a pod in his head. Say he's head to head. So, I mean, if you bring him in to say match someone, probably not. You leave that trade mate to the end to if you're ahead, match him. But if you need say a pod, I prefer him. Maybe go on the centre wings like a Critter, like a Ikavalu, someone that's a bit different that no one like. You're not really going to match anyone on. Over say a Lomax.
Yeah, 100%. So we got a draft question.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, so Christopher, draft question: playing a cat in a grand final, which 4 centre wings would you play? Ikavalu, Marzihu, Suwali, Johnston, Mulatano, or Meany?
So which 2 would you sit? I'd sit Suwali, I think, out of all those ones.
I'm surprised he didn't
even tag the cat that he's talking about either. He should have.
Yeah.
He's already called him a cat. Surely he can put his name.
You still got a chance, Chris. But you got to play Johnston. He can score against anyone. I love owning Johnston. He's so fun to own. Like it's scary when he doesn't score a try, but he makes it so easy. And I reckon he'll take that crown. So him. We spoke about Mulatalo. I'd play Mulatalo for sure. So take easy matchups. And then I'd probably play Ikavalu Marzihu if we're talking about, the Titans have a bit of a weaker matchup. Or, Meany's got a bit of base. It'd be between Meany or Marzihu for me.
I think the problem with Meany is that he's always been named at fullback, but he's playing in the halves.
But he scored pretty well last week.
Fullback. He scored well.
But they did put on 60
half
points.
Of that was goal kicks. I think he scored 80 and 40 of that was goals. So he's not going to get.
Yeah, exactly. So against a tougher matchup this week, I think Johnston, Mulatalo, Ikavalu are no brainers, and then roll the dice between the other 3.
Yeah, between Marju and Meany.
Meany more so, yeah. Oh, Savs is back and Addie's awake. After 10 months of being a poor friend, I finally met her on the weekend.
I was really drunk on Saturday night, and I ended up. I posted the photo on the SuperCoach experience page.
I thought you might.
Yeah, someone was like, "Oh, can't believe Morgan Harper didn't. Don't let him hold her because Morgan Harper will drop her or something like that."
I've been getting a lot, man. I got Xavier Savage the other week, and I didn't see it until I had a look at a face-up photo, and there's one photo with the I was like, all right, I kind of see it, but. I prefer to be Xavier Savage over Harper.
Any footballer with a moustache, no facial hair,
and a bit of curly hair.
Whatever at the
back. Yeah.
We've got Sean Niven here from Baker. Tupo to Ikavalu for a 1-week play. I like it.
Yeah, I like that too.
But I'd prefer Edric Lee.
Of course you would.
What does Addie have to feel about that question? She seems like she wants to get involved.
What do you feel about that question?
She doesn't like it.
Great answer.
She doesn't like it. Yep.
Well, I'm playing stay-at-home dad today, so I have to go. But cheers for helping run the podcast, guys. And we've got a big last 2 weeks to go, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
This is kind of a lull, but like in 2 weeks when the head-to-head finals and all the overall stuff's done, that's when the stuff gets exciting. It kind of, we recap our seasons. We have a look at what we've done right, what we've done wrong, best moments of the year and things like that. So I'm looking forward to that.
Just quickly, Sabs, before you go, can you remind us how the group thing works? Remember, we got all our prizes to give away. Maybe we're getting very close to crowning it.
Yeah.
Or just maybe we'll remind everyone next week if you can't remember. But I know it's something to do with so many winners go into a hat, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's the top 5 go into a hat, and we draw it, and the winner of that. The reason we do that is because usually the winner gets in the top 10 and gets a prize and wins all their head-to-heads anyway, so they deserve to be in the draw 100%. but we want to give everyone the chance because they've been there.
That had a good season, yeah.
And,
Yeah,
and I
100%.
mean, on top of that, that same person's probably in a lot of groups, also winning a lot of prizes. So we
Yes. So there are a few people
a chance. So
exactly, there are a lot of people I've seen in multiple groups. So the winner of that prize receives a Villi Army jersey and a SuperCoach champion ring. And we've got all our head-to-head cashy finals this week. So I'm sure you'll give that a shout out before the end of the show. And it's been a big season for the leagues and stuff. But our podcast has kind of been a bit. We haven't had a lot of time to do it this year, so I apologize for that, guys. And I'm sure
someone went out a kid, didn't they?
Oh yeah. 100%. It's my fault. No, I'm not even kidding. It is my fault.
I've been pretty slack too with work and that, but either way, we still manage to get an episode out each week, so it's a handy thing about having a big panel.
Jake and Timmy are the only consistent ones.
We both just have no life.
All right, we'll catch you later, Savs. Good luck, mate, and I hope you can cheer me and Jake on to we'll win some cash in your spirit.
I'm going to do my bold prediction right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you know what it's going to be?
Edric Lee to score a hat-trick.
Edric Lee to score 5 tries.
Edric Lee to score a hat-trick. Is Edric Lee going to score a hat-trick?
That's no. That's got to be a no.
All right, cheers, guys. I'll see you later in the week, and I'm sure we'll be in touch with Jake because he's in a lot of head-to-head finals. Actually, so are you, Mikey. So
yeah. Thank you very much. I'm in him too.
And Mikey just goes Jake by himself?
No. Sorry, my dog was barging down the door. But all right. Me and Jake will continue to answer some questions, and then we'll go through the end of ritual stuff. We don't have too much time. We don't want to bore you out. So we just want to quickly go over, or Jake, you're probably in more of them than me. We'll just go over who's made the finals. Congratulations to those people. Me and Sabs and Jake, we normally just pay it out straight afterwards. So hit us up if you're a winner afterwards. But yeah, congrats to these guys. The $100 one, our biggest one. Jake, you're going for the big prize there.
Yeah, against the Slippery Gypsy.
Yeah, so Mark, the coach of the Slippery Gypsy. So that's a big match up there. The comp I'm running, $25 one. You're in that as well, Jake. You're versing Nat from Rug Munch, and then
who's actually they've actually gone very well, Rug Munch. They're ranked higher than me. It might be maybe.
Yeah, he's always in and around it, Nathan. Yeah, he's always in and around it, and yeah, he's done really well this season. I'm in 50, number 2. Oh, wait, SuperCoach Experience 50 is myself and Mud Dogs, Curtis. We also then have in the SuperCoach Experience 50, number 2. I just bowed out in that one. Very up. Oh, not just. I got beat by 140. That was the only $50 one I didn't make. But
Jared's versus each other in that.
Yeah, Jared from Slow Wars.
Jared, once I was a man.
Yeah. Do we have any other comps that I may not be in? Is there one more?
There's another $100 one, but neither of
is there. Oh, is that the one that Tim ran? Yeah. So sorry for whoever's in that one. Yeah, because either of us don't have access.
But fear not, they will all be paid out by us. Monday, as soon as lockout's over, we'll chase everyone up for their bank details and pay them out.
Yeah, 100%. We'll get to that for you guys. Another question here we'll quickly throw up. Luke Addy, thoughts on Kickow for this week? I'm playing him. I love Ilami Kickow. And yeah, he's looking like you could have sat him all of the weeks previously. And this one, I see why you might if you've got a better player. But they're versing the Warriors, and Kickow loves scoring tries against the weaker oppositions. Luai's back this week. Short ball could be handy. And yeah, I feel like he's in for a big one. He's kind of due. He hasn't had a big one in a while. So, as I said, I'm loading up on Panthers this week. For me, it was between Coruscant and Kickout because I only wanted to play 3 out of 4. And just be mindful if you got some Penrith plays this week that, Salmon's not there, but there will be some restings. He hinted at it in the post-game interview. He then has named a full-strength side. So I'm expecting Charlie Staines to give rest to Edwards if we're ahead, and then I believe that Mitch Kenny will do the same to Coruscant if we're ahead by a bit.
Yeah,
or it could be a late switch again. He might just start off with Kenny and call on Coruscant if needed. So that's why I'm too scared to play him.
I think, like you said, I think Edwards could be spelled a rest. I think Coruscant, Isaiah Yo's probably another one that's probably going to get a bit of a rest if they're winning easy.
The second part to that question, he'd be trading Tohu Harris for him. That could be a good one for head-to-head matchups. I don't mind that, although if you didn't have someone like David Fafita, I would prioritize a David Fafita. There are some interesting second round pods. But if that's for a head-to-head final, man, I do like that kick out over Harris. I wouldn't. I wouldn't be against that trade. It looks like I feel like we've covered mostly everything. He said he already has him. So too easy. No worries, mate. We'll go with our bold predictions and then let's wrap it up. We've almost been going for an hour. All right. Do you want me to start, Jake, or you got yours?
If you have yours there, you can fire ahead.
I don't, but I like to do them on the spot. So whatever comes into my head. So here we go. Talakai. I'm not playing him, but I really think that he will bounce back this week with an attacking stat. I'll go in for 70 plus. You know what? We'll put him in a duo with Mulatalo. We're going to say the Talakai and Mulatalo to go 150 plus. I'm then going to partner that with kick out to return with a ton. And then we'll chuck one more in for fun. I haven't got any right all year, but, why not? Let's go. Cherry Evans. Cherry Evans will have a big one in a win or a loss. So I'm going to put him for a ton also.
Well, Mikey, you didn't really mention your Panthers, but I'm going to go the whole left edge of the Panthers, being Luai, Kikau, Tango, and Taylor May, all to go 85 plus. And I'm going to go. So you kind of did Sharks, so I guess I won't throw the Sharks in there. But David Fafita, I think he's been close to a ton. He's getting closer and closer. I think this is the week he gets the ton. Could also
be looking like he could score 2 or 3 tries.
Captain for people also chasing a potential head-to-head catch-up. Obviously, Nico Hines is going to be the most captain this week, but say you're behind by the time the Sharks plays, you're going to have to roll the dice on someone else, and I think Fafita's kind of a potential one that can win you that. So make sure you kind of have him in your main team, not in one of your reserves, just in case you need to kind of flip the seat.
If you've got a lot of late game players, you could honestly put the VC on Hines. I know that didn't work for me last week, and then drop someone else if you got maybe Tass or someone. You could do that if you've got a late NPR. So that just could be an option purely if Hines goes average. Then a nice pod for feeder captain could win you the round. So or win your matchup. Sorry. So I think he's been looking likely. They've been going the other side a lot, and he's scoring a try and getting very high scores. So imagine what he could do with 2 or 3. And captaincy options, Jake. I know we just mentioned Hines, and it'll be very hard. You're going to have something on him. Sab's mentioned before, you can't always just go for a pod. Sometimes go with what's going to work. And after what he did last week, it'd be hard not to have it on him this week.
Yeah, I think you got to have something on him. Captain, I guess, would be ideal. Vice captain in maybe a Panthers player. I only have Taylor May, so that's not ideal. Maybe even Munster. He's a player that he's up for these big games as a VC. But I think the head-to-head finals is a time where you have to potentially go a pod captain to win. So regardless, I guess you're going to play it each by game. If you're ahead, play it safe. If you're behind, then you're going to have to roll the dice. There's no point in running, just copying second, losing by 10 points where. Instead of, maybe you lose by 110, but you might win it as well. So this is the exact time to roll the dice for your head-to-head finals.
Yeah, 100%, man. I agree with you there. I'm going to do something similar. I'll have something on Hines, and I'll probably VC one of the fullbacks or have something on one of the fullbacks. Tedesco, although he's versing the Storm, I wouldn't mind just throwing the dice. And also, Latrell, it doesn't matter who he versus. You'd obviously need to do VC, Hines, C, Latrell to make that happen, but you couldn't go against having something like Latrell because he's just been in awesome form, and I really think he could put a number on the Cowboys even. I've just got this feeling. So
I think he could tear the Cowboys up.
See, that's now got me thinking, I could do the VC, Hines.
Mikey, I completely forgot about Latrell.
Yeah, but the negative to that is I'd be in the same predicament as last week because I've got no Tigers or Dragons players. I would have to drop Fafita. So I'm not going to put myself in that position again because there's no way I'm going to drop Fafita again tonight. So it's rough. I'd love to captain Latrell, but that means not having anything on Hines, and that could be dangerous. But yeah, look, we don't want to give too much away, Jake, because we want to win some finals this week. So, good luck to everyone else. We might catch you next week. I'm not sure, Sabs. We might decide just to save it for a post, how we went after the season's finished, or we might wrap it up next week. So we'll see how we go. We'll either do one next week or the week after. But other than that, good luck for your head-to-head finals, or good luck just trying to finish strong. So, yeah, good luck, Jake. Thanks for coming on, mate.
Thanks, Mikey. Well done. Thanks, Savs. And yeah, like Mikey said, good luck, everyone, for the last 2 rounds, mainly this one. No one's really going to care about next round, I think, unless you're up in the top 20 or so. So
yeah, good luck. Good luck to the guys fighting for the finish, man. Good luck, and yeah, make sure you. I
guess we knew what it was like last year because we had Timmy up there, so
we were riding Timmy, and this was the most nervous time. Well, he seemed to we were pretty confident at this point last time, but I'm pretty sure the guy up in front had a massive round too, so I think he's in a pretty good spot.
He does have a massive lead, I think, as well. The guy leading is still ahead by 200 odds. So
yeah, exactly. All right, well, good luck, guys. We'll see you guys on the last and final episode, and then we'll start getting ready for some BBL.
Ooh.
See you later.
Cheers.